Hello, friends. Let's talk about how SpaceX plans to land the Starship on Mars. This is quite a complex task. And to understand all the nuances, we need to delve into some basic principles of interplanetary travel. Firstly, it's important to understand that the entire cosmos is constantly in motion, and every body, including Earth and Mars, moves in its orbit around the Sun. We need to change the velocity of our spacecraft to transition from Earth's orbit to Mars' orbit. This change in velocity is called delta V. However, to do this, we need fuel and engines. Fortunately, when we're in Earth's orbit, we can refuel to have enough fuel for the journey to Mars. After that, we just need to make some minor adjustments to our orbit to land on the red planet. But here's where the real challenges begin. As we approach Mars, we need to slow down to safely land. This is a tricky task because our speed is much higher than Mars' speed in orbit around the Sun. Without the right strategy, we could fly past Mars and end up stuck somewhere in the asteroid belt. To solve this problem, we need to skillfully use Mars' atmosphere to slow down before landing. This involves complex maneuvering to not only enter the atmosphere, but also control the speed to make it low enough for a soft landing. In the end, this is an incredibly complex mission, and SpaceX faces a huge challenge, but we've seen how they've tackled difficulties in the past. And we believe they can succeed in this endeavor too. Though it's an ambitious task, history is full of examples of the impossible becoming possible. Let's continue our conversation about how SpaceX plans to land the Starship on Mars. One of the key challenges of this mission is not only technical, but also financial. Traveling to Mars and landing there require immense resources, and SpaceX is working to make it more efficient and accessible. One way to make the Mars mission more feasible is to use external resources such as orbital stations or moons of other planets. For example, Mars' outer moon, Deimos, requires less velocity change to reach its orbit than a direct flight to Mars. This means that deploying a base on Deimos and using it as a preparation point or refueling station for Mars missions could be a viable option. It's also important to mention that SpaceX is working on improving technologies and ships for more efficient use of fuel and resources. There are plans to create new versions of the Starship with increased fuel tank capacity and more efficient engines. This will reduce fuel costs and make Mars missions more accessible. Overall, the path to Mars is filled with challenges, but thanks to the efforts of companies like SpaceX, we can move closer to realizing this exciting dream of colonizing another planet. Let's hope for success and keep track of the development of this fascinating story. So let's stay tuned for news and root for SpaceX's success. Until next time, friends.